Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about financial stress. This is something that happens to all of us, especially me. I have been suffering from financial stress for a very long time. And I have developed 10 quick tips that I do all the time in order to minimize and to manage my financial stress. And why financial stress is so important to manage. If you do not manage financial stress properly, it could not only affect your decision-making abilities, but it will also affect your personal life. And that's something that we cannot allow to happen. So if you stay with me through the whole video, you will see my tips and my recommendation on what to do and what not to do. And if you have any other tips that I'm not mentioning here on the video that you think will help me or help someone else, please share it. Put on the description below. It will be greatly appreciated and it will help all of us. So before further ado, let's go to the video. So step number 1, create a financial plan. Financial plans are critical. Financial plans help you to understand where you've been, where you are, and where you're going. In my financial plan, I usually create short-term goals, medium-term goals, and long-term goals. And within those goals, of course, I pivot as the external situation affect my personal financial plan. So for example, if the market is within a correction, I make some decision to adjust my plan in order to reduce my financial stress. But you can only do that when you have a plan and a strategy, a process developed in the first place. So don't forget, step number 1, very important, create a financial plan. Building up on that financial plan is a step number 2, which is prioritize your financial goals. Everybody has multiple goals. But let's be honest, not most of us will be able to achieve all of them. And this is why it's important for you to prioritize your goals. For example, if you have kids and they need some medical attention, of course, that's a priority that you have to attend first. That means that you're gonna have to stop investing in other priorities in order to first tackle that priority that I have described. The same thing, like if you're trying to invest for your retirement, but you do not have any emergency fund set up yet. That will also derail, if you have any emergency, it will derail your overall goal of retirement and investing properly to have a good retirement. So that's why you have to prioritize having an emergency fund before you can start prioritizing investing for your retirement. I'm building on step number 2 is having an emergency fund. You cannot imagine how a stress builds up when you don't have anything to protect you from an emergency. So just start by having an $1,000 emergency fund. If you cannot have more than that, just have that. That will be your starting position. But you will need to build that emergency fund. Most rule of thumbs are between 3 to 6 months. But I don't like rule of thumbs. I like for you to categorize all your fixed expenses, all the expenses that you need to have in order for you to live for a month. And then based on that information and based on your income level, develop a strategy. How risk averse are you? Does 3 months sound reasonable? 6 months? Maybe a year. It depends on your risk tolerance. But the key of this step is for you to build an emergency fund that it will protect you against anything that might happen in the future, and most likely will happen in the future. So it's always better to be safe than sorry. Step number 4, look for professional advice. And when I mean professional advice, it's not that you're gonna go to the next financial planner or financial advisor or financial whatever they are. There's so many type of advisors out there, but most of them are salesmen, but that's something for another video. What I recommend you is for you to do a deep analysis of, can I manage my stress on my own? If the answer is not, then you have to classify why. And it could be medical. Maybe you need to talk to a psychiatrist or a psychology or a mental professional to help you with that issue. Or maybe you have some tax issues that is affecting your stress level, and then go and talk to a CPA, an accountant, to help you with that, or some legal issues. That's what I mean with seek a professional advice. It's always good to be informed with the best available information out there. And sometimes you cannot just do the research online. Most of the time you have to go and talk to a professional. Step number 5, practice a stress reducing activity. Like for example, practice yoga. You don't have to spend money on it. You can just go for a walk, go for a run, do some bicycle, do something that you like, and it will take your mind away from your financial issues. So for example, what I do YouTube videos. That's how I release my stress. I feel good by sharing my knowledge and my experience to someone else, and hopefully that will benefit somebody else. I also ride bicycles with a team. I like to run. I like to walk around the park. I go outside with my family. Those are all things that it will help you reduce your financial stress. Step number 6, educate yourself as much as possible on personal finance topics. Just like you're doing right now watching my video. You can just go, there's a lot of books that you can buy, or you can just go to the library and rent, that it will teach you personal finance, basic concept that it will help you develop a strategy for you to achieve your financial goals. So it's never too late to learn something new. Actually, if I don't learn anything every day, I feel like I just wasted a day. And at least once a month, something has to blow my mind. But at the same time, step number 7 is limit your financial overload. And what I mean is, it's okay for you to learn about personal finance and basic concept, but what I think is not okay is for you to be watching a Bloomberg or CNBC 100% every day, looking at what the market is doing, how the government could affect your personal finance, the stock market, the overall global economy. All that, what it's doing is increasing your financial anxiety and increasing your financial stress. So it's always good to be informed, but overly informed on what's happening out there, especially on topics where you do not have any control over it, is never good. And step number 8, automate your finances. There's so many tools out there where you can automate your finances. One of the key and most easy tools that you can use is just create automatic transfers between your checking account and your savings account, between your checking account and your investment accounts. Also, you can have a budget app. Most banks right now, they offer you a budget app within the bank that it will help you to manage your expenses, so you can find opportunities for savings and for future investments. So automate. That's always a very good idea to do. It will help you to just keep your mind away from the everyday tasks or every month tasks that most people have to do in order to invest or to manage their finances. And step number 9, practice gratitude and stay positive. Things could always be worse. So you should be focusing on the positive things that are happening within your personal finance, so you can always be working on what can I do to do better. If you only have $1,000 in your emergency fund, that's fine. It could be worse. You could have nothing. So just focus on that you have $1,000 in your emergency fund, and what can you do to build that up to something that you will be comfortably protected from 90% of anything that it could happen out there that it could derail your personal finance. And last but definitely not least is seek help from your family and your friends. I think this is a really important one, and I left it to the end because personally I believe this is one of the most important ones. There is no one that understands you better than your very close friends and your family. So talk to them. Tell them, what are you doing? How are you doing it? Get advice from them. Even if they're not finance savvy, just talk to them. Just releasing that tension will help you think clearly. Maybe they will give you some advice that you will never thought about it. And after doing some research, you will say, oh, you know what? My grandpa was correct, or my dad was correct, or my mom, my friends were correct. I'm gonna take their advice. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. So remember, family and friends always come first. If this video has been valuable to you, I ask you to please like and subscribe to the channel. And once again, I hope everything that I have shared with you today will help you to overcome your financial stress. The goal of this channel is to help you guys to achieve your financial goals and to achieve your financial freedom. But at the same time, I want you guys to share with me what you guys do in order to help me overcome my financial anxieties. Thank you very much for staying until the end, and I will see you next Sunday.